What's up, Hill? How are you? This is Adrian. Just looking at, your lower body. As you come into squat, you're squatting really, really well. Your heel's on the ground. You're actually getting into 98 degrees, which is awesome. Your knee is inside of your ankle, so your lower half, your back leg is looking really, really good. So getting it into extension at plant foot. You're at 121 degrees, which is pretty good. That's why you throw so hard. You generate a lot of power. The angles are, just really good. So, that looks great. As you get into plant foot, you rotate around that front knee. You can see as it retracts, it's retracting, where your hip is coming back, which is allowing you to drive through. So, all of the moving parts, I want to measure this really quick. So this is pretty good, 133 before you release the ball, and then it starts to increase after you leave. It probably goes up to 145, even 150. So your knee's retracting like it should. Your legs staying on the ground. So lower body wise, I think you're great. No lower body issues. Where I think we could make improvement is the upper body. So let's get into it. So as you throw, you are actually on a B posture. What that means is your head gets to this position and your arm comes off of that. So when you start, you're actually starting in front of that posture, and then your head and your chest is fighting against it to get into that solid position. That's your arm slot. This is who you are. So based off of who you are, when you come back, we need to make sure that when you're setting everything up, everything lower body needs to stay the same. But what needs to happen is we need to push your chest back a little bit and get you in maybe a solid state. We're talking 3 or 4 inches with your head moved back. So we can move you to that position. What's going to happen is if you started at that position with your head back, you'd have minimal head movement and your chest would be on target. I'll explain to you why that's important later on, but that I think is a quick change that you can make. Now with that, as you throw, your knees inside, your upper body needs to start retracting back in this position. So staying straight up and down in this way, right here, but moving back towards, see here, back towards your front foot. What I think's happening is your head's getting a little bit too early, where your head should actually be over this rubber for a longer period of time. So we need to move that head back and keep it there as long as possible. This is what we call stacking. I think your ability to stack is going to delay your upper body from opening too quickly, and I think that's what's really causing this. You're starting to, you're closed. Your front leg is crossing up a little bit, and it's hard to open up that chest. What I see here with this is I see a high elbow, elevated humerus off of this position. You're 161, so we're basically about 19 degrees off. So what we want to do is keep that, we want to lower this elbow, and how we're going to do that is exactly what we just talked about. Getting you stacked, putting your head over this rubber for a longer period of time, moving you back this way. Not to mention moving your chest up to stay up into that B posture, to move the head, to make sure that there's not as much head movement. And I think what's going to happen is, as you throw, you do a very good job of driving your chest, and it could be better. That's a good chest drive. Now your elbow's a little bit elevated, like I said, 19 degrees. As you come back in here and get this upper body rotated back, the elbow's going to be lower in a better position, so that it's going to be nice and loose and it's not too high. So when you go into the rotation, your elbow's actually going to be in that right at that shoulder level, and you're going to be able to rotate your body a little bit better. Now watch that, everything's staying together, and watch your chest and watch your arm. So your chest is going this way, going straight towards the target, and your arm's going the opposite. We want to somehow sync those two things together, and I think that's where it's causing a little bit of pain in the back shoulder. See how high that elbow is? If we can move that down right here, if you could stack your upper body back this way, that's going to put your upper body in this position. So looking at the front glove, and I think this has an issue too. Front glove comes up, it's in a good position here. Arms, we have some symmetry in there, it looks good. But I think if we stacked, watch right as you move, your arm's going down, and I want your arm, your front glove, to rotate, be more rotational. So when this glove comes down, the arm's going to follow. Arm's going to come up. It's going to try to find that symmetry. So if we move this arm up a little bit, elevate it, pinch it this way, you're going to be able to rotate around that in a better position to throw more directly towards your target, putting a lot less stress on the shoulder, and putting you in a great position to pronate and to finish across your body. Now I did notice when you finish, your elbow stays bent at about 162 degrees, and now it's 150, but we got to continue to rotate your chest even further to put all of that stress in the shoulder blade in the back, in your back, and not in the rotator cuff. So you're going to have to do a better job of pronating, getting across your body, and that's going to be able to keep you healthier. So like I said, lower half, I really don't find any issues. It's in that upper half where you're going to be able to make those huge changes with the front glove, with the stacking and staying, keeping your upper body back over this rubber as long as possible. Your lower half needs to stay the same. Everything else, your lower half is great, upper body. Now, we are crossing the acromial line a little bit. So there's a line between both of your shoulders, and you are crossed here, but you're in a good pinched position, and that's why you throw hard. But it's a combination of both of these arms. So if we can get the elbow, the front glove, in the right position, if we can stack you back in this position a little bit higher, you're going to have a greater likelihood of, your hips are on target right here. You do a really good job of opening your hips, but now you need to do a better job of driving your chest and finishing across your body, so closing off that chest at the end. So if you can do that, make those changes upper body wise, you are going to start feeling a hell of a lot better and throw harder. Not to mention feel good. So thanks so much for sending me these videos. If there's anything that I can do, just please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks so much.